Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. And the showdown between Donald Trump and the media continues. Now, his latest attack was against Acosta of CNN. Now, let's get this straight. You're talking about two big babies. Acosta, not a fan. Trump is right. In my book, you do suck. But Trump, you suck too. And I'm going to break down as much as I can my point of view of this situation. Now, here's the fact, okay? You guys got to understand, Trump is butthurt. Trump is butthurt because he don't have full Republican control. And now he fears that the Republicans can blame him for losing the House. Now, he can blame the Republicans in Congress for them losing the House, of course, because he never takes blame. You're never going to see Trump say, it's my fault, it's my responsibility, I'm sorry, put that on me, that's on me. You're never going to see that from Trump because Trump is not that type of guy. He believes, and I guess is rooted in his upbringing in the Norman Vincent Peale era of positive thinking and big thinking, that a sign of weakness is saying I apologize. No, the sign of saying, not saying I apologize is a sign of weakness. And I hear Jesse Lee Peterson talking about beta male, you're alpha male if you're a liberal and things like that. Let me tell you something. You can be an alpha male as a conservative. You can be an alpha male as a liberal or a leftist or a rightist. Has nothing to do with that. Alpha male in my book is somebody who's able to be in touch with not just his creator, but his creative inside and really admit that he's a human and he makes mistakes and he works on correcting that mistake. That is an alpha male. Hope radical change happens in his thinking, because he really do crap on the black community, and I'm not going to stand for him doing that or anybody doing that. And I'm not going to let somebody stand the crap on the white community, because I believe that you're supposed to be proud of your culture, but you don't supposed to be elitist or superior, thinking your culture is superior to the other. That's where I differ from you. We all are the same. Anyway, so let's get into this Trump thing. Trump goes full baby. Watch this.
In the midterms.
Here we go.
It's that right there that started the whole altercation. He mentioned midterms, or he just mentioned the term. So he could be talking about the midterm election. He could be talking about the terms of what he's calling the particular people on the subject matter that they're about to discuss. But the moment he mentioned terms, now, like I said, he's hurt. He's upset. The Congress probably blaming him and everybody who attached themselves to him. Not everybody, but some lost. They lost the House and Senate. A lot of Republicans got defeated. In just a few years, he lost a lot of seats compared to Obama. Now, Obama had over 1,000 seats lost during his term, and that's blamely because of the DNC and how they run their candidate. Obama's job is to go out there and campaign for people. Kind of similar to what Trump did in this election. But already, we're looking at 307 seats nationwide in the Republican parties gone. Maybe more than that, just in 2 years. Now, if he stay at that pace of 8 years, that's going to surpass 1,000 seats of Obama or his term. But right there, he gets upset. I remember I was dating this girl, and I asked her a question she ain't like. Oh, Lord. Oh, here we go again. Why we got to bring that up? And that's just what Trump went through. Oh, Lord, here we go. Go ahead and say what you got to say. And he continues to say what he got to say. Watch this.
If you don't mind, Mr. President, that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr. President,
I consider it to be an invasion.
As you know, Mr. President, caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you?
So as Trump began to as Acosta began to explain to Trump about the term that he was using, that this was an actual invasion on the United States from people from Costa Rica, and places like Honduras, coming to America. And Acosta began to say it's not a invasion; it's actually a caravan to go because they're fleeing. They're seeking asylum, and they're trying to go to get some refuge and hopefully be processed to allow to at least work back and forth. Going through the process. Trump actually listened to him, and Trump actually said the words, "Oh, okay, I guess all right, I understand. All right, appreciate that." He appreciated him explaining that. Now, this is one thing I know from Trump. All right. Yeah, I think he's a megalomaniac. I think he's the egotistical, one of the most egotistical persons walking the face of the earth. I think he overexerts himself. He pumps himself so much. And that goes back to his old school teaching, like audio series in the book, Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. He comes from that area. He actually attended Norman Vincent Peale Church in downtown New York City with his father. So he has a history of going through that. Nevertheless, the dude got some issues. He got some mental issues to go from, okay, I understand that. Thank you. I appreciate that. And then go right back into war mode. That's a different story. But I did get a rare glance of him saying, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, hold on to that because you don't get that much from him. Whether he believes it or not, he at least said it. Whether you believe it or not, he at least said it. I'll give him credit for him saying it. I ain't giving him more credit other than that. Let's continue.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in
Not
this
at all.
election
No, not
to
at all.
try to keep?
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people. Well,
there you go, Acosta. He did give Acosta a chance to speak, and he explained hey, I see it as an invasion. You see it as a caravan. I understand what you're saying. I appreciate you telling me that. But if they come in this way, they got to go through a process, but they can't just bum rush themselves. And I kind of agree with that. But I know that they're not trying to just invade the United States, and the president has to start understanding and sharing that he knows is not invasion. For him to keep playing that invasion card is not going to help him. And right now, he feels free to play the invasion card because right now, the election is over with, so it's not going to hurt any Republicans if I say that. It only can hurt me in the next 2 years because I'm running again in the next 2 years. But that the president just need to take that as is. Now, here's where Acosta messed up. After the president explained to him why I want them to come, why we need them to come, and the reason we need them to come because we need to fill out those jobs. First, let's stop there, President. If you got jobs, you need to come up with a better job initiative for the American people. Right now, the unemployment is at all-time low. Thank you to President Obama and the structure he built to get us from out of the debt ditch back on the road again to recovery. And now we're speeding up and on a good road to recovery. And we don't need you messing that up, bruh. Of course, you're getting credit because you're driving the car now. Obama decided he had to step out the car and retire from driving. And you got it, but you want to take the credit for the hard work that man did and other people did to get us out of the ditch, get us back on the road. Now, don't get me wrong. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. But nevertheless, he did give Acosta an opportunity to speak. And after a while, it was like, I don't want to talk to you no more. Now, he did not answer the question. He answered the question. He brought in the answer to the best of Acosta's ability. And I guess Acosta wanted to attempt to kind of change her thinking concerning the migrant trail to freedom. That's what I call it. And but the bottom line is he was done with you, Acosta. Now, this is the part where it started getting etchy and sketchy. When Trump told him that's it, Acosta should have been classy enough to sit his butt down. He should have. No, he want to be like a little kid and continue to hold on the mic. But I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished. I got more questions to ask you. Let my other colleagues ask questions. So I don't know. How many questions did his colleagues ask? 2, 3, 4? And he only got one? He's going to aggressively push more questions in there while the president say, I'm done. So when you continue to be aggressive, what you think Trump going to do? He's Trump. He's a baby. He's like a small brat. You don't give me what I want, I'm going to do something to make you give me what I want. I'm going to cry, I'm going to complain, I'm going to moan until you say finally, here, I just want you to just shut up. But no, you were the baby that time, Acosta, continuing when he told you to leave it alone. Now, let me continue to play the rest of this and you're going to see this.
They're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's
I
not
think
an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, you know
miles
what?
away. That's
I
not
think
an
you
invasion.
should, honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
All right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may
Okay,
ask
that's
one other
enough.
question.
So as you see, Trump came back at dude. Let me tell you something. You got to learn this by now. You come after Trump, Trump going to come back after you unless he feel like you're not what Jesse Lee Peterson called an alpha male. Trump is not going to go against somebody he consider an alpha male. If you're a beta male, he'll come after you. That's how a lot of these people with these kind of twisted thinking, they do that. The alpha male is a person who thinks he's better than you because he's an alpha and you're beta. And when they feel like you're smaller than them, they're going to charge back at you. So here comes Trump with more insults. Well, let me be president. I'm the president. You just a little newscaster. And why don't you go do what you do? And maybe if you did what you did a little bit better, your ratings will be a little too low. So you're going to stick it to the man who has the ability to write crap about you. Your job with the press is to be, not become combatant with the press, not become enemies with the press. And, we're going to go back and forth with that about him trying to declare the press the enemy of the people. No, they may be the enemy of your supporters, but they're not the enemy of people. There are good people out there who really care about real press. People like Julian Assange, who most of these people in these high areas are trying to lock up because he is doing a real job of covering and uncovering news. So Trump, of course, he's going to go back and forth. And this is where the tension got even worse. Because now, after Trump said, I'm done with you, Acosta, you got to zip it and flip it and move on. He gave you the ability to ask him a couple of questions. A couple of those questions are gotcha questions. He knew it was gotcha questions. Why should he have to answer your gotcha questions? I mean, to me, I think if you're a skilled politician, you'd be able to take those gotcha questions and throw them back in the face. But if you're insulting him with these questions, which I think are legitimate questions, but what is the purpose you are saying these? What is the purpose of you crafting it and designing it in that kind of way? You can ask a question without marginalizing this dude. He feeds off that. Don't do that. And he sees that, and that's why he went back and forth with you. Now, when the president said, I don't want to answer no more questions, you got to be classy enough and say, fine. If he don't want to talk to you, you can't get mad. Of course, he ain't going to want to talk to you. You got to throw that back in the face and say, the president too much coward to even answer one of my questions. I mean, he don't have, and what if he do answer? Are you going to call him a coward because he didn't answer the way you wanted him to answer? Or he answered this his way, and you didn't like the answer? It happens like that in a relationship. I just told you what the deal is. The problem is I didn't say what you wanted to hear. I told you, I answered your question, because it happened in relationships. I answered your question. You just didn't like my answer. You didn't answer my question. No, I answered your question. I'll say it again. You just didn't like what I said. Trump answered your question, Acosta. You just didn't like what he said. And or vice versa. He asked you a question, Trump, and you didn't like the question you asked. Both of you got offended. Both of you acting like big bad babies, and this is where this thing escalate. Let's keep going.
Mr. President, I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President.
me.
Now, before we get into the insults of Trump toward Acosta, Trump attempt to make Acosta feel small, Trump attempt to dehumanize Acosta as a reporter, which he cannot do because Acosta got awards. They got him there for a reason. He has a good record, even to the extent that the next person that he answers, have him ask questions to. The next person who was asking the questions actually build Acosta up, and Trump even get more offended that the nerves of you defenders do. But let me go into this. First, I want to stop here where now Trump has told Acosta, I'm done talking to you, bruh. Move on. Give the mic to somebody else. Acosta still wants to continue to run his mouth, totally ignoring the president. Now, the president decides who get to come in and who not to come in. Now, there's the freedom of the press, and Acosta has all the right to ask the questions, and Trump can't get mad. Trump have all the right to not answer the question or answer the question. But to insult one another is wrong. Trump insulted him. Trump feel like Acosta insulting him with the decisions that he making. Look, dude, some of the decision is not just insulting. You worried about the assault that he may be taking against you and your decision with calling the migration and invasion. But what about the assault that you're making toward those people who really just want to escape drug dealers from making their children a part of their cult or a part of their organization, escape from being murdered themselves, people who want freedom, who want to get away. Not all of them are bad. There's MX-16 and all this crap. Dude, why don't you do a little investigation? You'll find out if there's slim to none. You can't help. Out of all those people, there's going to be some bad people in the bunch. You can't help that. There are bad people in your White House. You may be the so-called good person, but I'm telling you, not everybody in your White House staff is not good. And people already made that judgment about you. So no matter where you go, you're going to get some bad people in a bunch. It got nothing to do with them trying to invade America. It's about them doing the right thing to become productive citizens in America because they want to be Americans. Now, let's talk about this young lady and this hand pushing.
One other question, Mr. President.
That's
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation.
That's
One other
enough.
question, Mr. President. I was going
enough.
to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation.
Now, clearly, the president said no more questions. And he gets ready to proceed to ask another question. But before he do that, he holds on to the mic. The young lady comes to approach him to get the mic. Now, did he hit the lady? No. I don't know where you get this thing that he hit the lady. He did not hit the lady. The lady came up to him from this way. He's looking that way. You see somebody coming this way trying to take something from you. It's just a natural defense for you to block a person. He blocked her. He did not hit her. Yo, sis, you better, come on, sis. You getting a little too close to me. All right. All you have to do is put your hand out and I'll give you the mic. You don't come snatching stuff out of my hand. I'm not your child. He had every right to do that. Just like Trump had every right to say, that's it, I'm done, get the mic. He had every right. When she came to him and did that, and she stepped back, he should have said, look, I'll give you the mic, but don't come snatch stuff out of my hand. Here. No, he proceeds to ask another question. Another insulting question about the Russian investigation and Trump fears of being investigated or fears of being impeached probably because of the so-called Russian hacking the election, with still to this day no proof that ever happened.
Are you concerned that you may have
I'm not concerned
indictments-
about anything with
that you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming down?
investigation because it's a hoax.
Now, did Trump commit crimes in office? Is he breaking the monument clauses? Did he commit crimes before he became president, which should have been investigated to discount him from becoming president? Definitely. Everybody in New York knows the history of Trump. The only people who don't know the history of Trump is people outside of New York City. That's why Trump would have never won a race ever in New York City, let alone New York State. Maybe New York State, but not New York City. He would have never ever been governor of New York State. Then again, he probably will, because we got Cuomo as governor, and them dudes are friends. Don't let it fool you. Trump and Cuomo are friends. Don't let them fool you. Anyway, back on this subject. The lady approached this man to snatch the mic out of his hand. It is a natural defense to say, hey, hold up now. Sister, don't be coming up on me like that, sister, and try to snatch stuff from me. I'm not your child. All right. When I feel I'm done, I'm going to give you the mic. No, it's not when I feel I'm done. The president is done with you. He want to talk to somebody else. You have to respect that on behalf of the other journalists and hand the mic over. Now, so being the man in the man of the house, so to speak, the White House, is his rules. As long as he don't violate the Constitution against free speech and things like that, escorting people out because they ask you a question or getting offended or doing crazy things like other countries do, have the person go out and get killed. As long as you don't do things like that, you should be good to go. But here, clearly, the president is butthurt already because of him losing the Republican leverage in the House, and now he can't just bulldoze his policies through because there's a sort of check and balance there, a real check and balance. Well, I would say real because a lot of these people, they're lazy, they don't put up a good fight, they're weak, they're cowardly, and that's just crazy. But anyway, Trump begins to insult Acosta, and then talk about CNN should be ashamed of themselves, and talk about the ratings.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. Go ahead.
Surely you can do that, President, because you have the ultimate mic, and this man can't defend himself. But what if he said the same thing about you? Oh, it's appalling for him to stand up to the president and talk about him like a dog in his face. Well, that man just talked about that man like a dog in his face. That's right, he should have did it. Hold up, you can't have one or the other. But it's about respect and honor. Dude, you got to respect people. It's not about respecting based on your position. Trump is not that man's boss, and he clearly states it in that press conference. That man do not work for Trump. Sure, the White House give him the privilege to come in and ask questions, talk to Trump, and then Trump do a coward thing like has his press badge taken away from him because of a fabricated lie that he assaulted this lady when this lady clearly pretty much assaulted him by coming at him trying to snatch stuff out of his hand. You don't approach nobody like that. Ask for it. And if he say no, then you get somebody else. You don't come snatching stuff out of somebody's hand like they're their child. But here he is trying to minimize, because that's what Trump do. He try to minimize people to make himself look big. That's what a coward do, a bully do. They minimize people to make themselves look big and strong. When a real alpha male, Mr. Peterson, lifts people up to their level, they don't try to dominate people. They're always encouraging, always inspiring, always motivating people. But you call that a beta male. No, that's the true alpha male. A beta male is weak and always trying to put people down to build himself up, like you do. Here, let me get off Jesse Peterson, man. I can go all day on that dude. But anyway, I try my best not to call people idiots, fools, dummies, and all that kind of stuff. I try not to even cuss, but that's beside the point. Trump goes in and insults this man. And in insulting this man, his co-worker, his colleague, a real friend, defends this man, and then he goes and insult this man. How you going to insult this man because he defend this man? I don't like you either. Well, how about both of them don't like you? Which one is more powerful, you not liking them or them not liking you? They both one and the same. All you acting like idiots in that room, acting like two big babies. You and Acosta. Now, don't get me wrong. You know me, I love all people, and I try to be fair and balanced. You know me, I don't take sides. I take over. I'm not for all this crap. I'm not partisan. I'm not one-sided. I'm going to look at the deal, and I'm going to tell you my point of view of the deal on both sides of the aisle. I even come down on me. So what make you think I'm not going to come down on crap like this? Both of them are spoiled brat idiots and just acting dumb. Acting. I'm not saying they're dumb. I don't think Trump is dumb. I don't think Acosta is dumb. I think they know how to play the media and people like me that go over and start talking about this, because no news, bad news is better than no news at all. And they got us talking about this, including me. So I never will ever discount the intelligence of Trump. He became a best-selling billionaire. And tell the truth, he took his money, dad's money, and stretched it beyond his dad's wildest dreams. So I'm not going to put him down on that. Me personally, I think he should have stayed in his lane. Don't get it twisted. A lot of black people, and especially in the Democratic Party, has been friends with him and has coddled at him and took money from him, from Jesse Jackson to Al Sharpton, you name it. People who think Trump is not a socialist, you better do your investigation about Trump. There's so many social programs Trump has personally invested in with his foundation just to get a tax break. But that's another subject. Let me get back on this. Acosta was wrong. Trump was wrong. Trump was wrong to try to dehumanize Acosta before all these people. Instead of being presidential and say, hey, I don't know what to deal with you, Acosta. Me and you'll talk a little later. That's something Obama would have did. And I'm not a huge Obama fan. It was like, well, we'll talk about this after the press conference. I'll give you an opportunity to meet me in the Oval Office, and we can talk about it there. But you're wrong. Don't bring up anything about Russia. There's no proof of Russia. And all this is about corruption. And if Robert Mueller want to look into corruption, he may find a whole bunch of stuff on me. And that's why I'm scared. And that's why I got rid of Session and put my guy in, because I need a lawless in that position.
I think that's unfair.
You're a very rude person. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Go ahead.
It's funny to hear this guy say the way you treat people is horrible. The way you treat Sarah Huckabee is horrible. This thing is horrible. The way you treat people, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Trump, do you listen to yourself sometime? Because the way you treat people is disgusting. The way you treat people is horrible. Look what you're doing to Acosta. Instead of talking to him in private, you're going to blast this dude out. Just like you called the lady an idiot a few days after because she asked you a question that you don't like. For every question you don't like, you're going to call people names, call them idiots, a disgrace. You shouldn't be working there. I don't understand why you're there. Dude, that shows your level of adolescence. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong, Trump is smart. He knows how to play people to make him think that he is an idiot. He is no way an idiot. He's very calculated and smart, and that's why you got to watch people like Trump. Just same thing with Obama. Obama look presidential, sound presidential, talk presidential, dress presidential, and act presidential. And me, Sasha, Malia, and Michelle, we're going to go golfing. At the same time, we're going to go ahead and push forth a new war down in Yemen and let Trump take over it when I'm out of office, because that's what I do. So you got to be crafty with these people, okay? But for you to be bad smashing people like Acosta, when that man can't even defend himself because you took the mic from him. And as soon as he says something about you, you're going to get even more flaminated and upset. So that's not fair. But before you talk about anybody, sir, you got to look at the man in the mirror, because you ain't all that cordial yourself. Let's keep going.
Go
ahead, Peter, go ahead.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his
Well, I'm
butt
not a
like the
big
rest
fan
of
of
us.
yours either, so
I understand.
to be honest.
So let me ask you a question if I can. You repeatedly
You
said...
aren't the best.
Mr. President, you repeatedly, over the course of
Okay,
the...
just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Mr. President, over the course of the last several days of the campaign, sir, at the end of the campaign, you repeatedly said that Americans need to fear Democrats. You said it would unleash a wave of violent crime that endangers families everywhere. Why are you
Because
pitting
they're very weak on
Americans?
crime.
Why are
Excuse
you
me.
pitting? Americans?
So in closing, I'm going to play this last clip, and he basically insulted Peter for defending Acosta, a fellow colleague journalist. Journalists should stick with each other. And sometimes you got to come. You cannot separate yourself as a journalist. It's not about parties as a journalist. It's about being a journalist. That including Fox News journalists. And then for him to talk about fake news at the end, he act like Fox News cannot be fake news. Alex Jones, his best buddy, cannot be fake news. Dude. And then he got a host of people believing that what he says is fake news is fake news. No. This dude listened to one outlet and a couple of people online. You could tell that. He listened to Alex Jones. There's some things I agree with Alex Jones, but a lot of stuff he talk about, I don't agree with him. And to me, I think he's a showman and a little extreme. A funny dude. I listen to him because they make me laugh. I listen to Jesse Lee Peterson because it makes me laugh, but then again, it makes me sad because this man is the Stephen of online internet media, political media. The Stephen, you know who Stephen is? That's the Samuel L. Jackson character on Django Unchained. Go take a look at that. Good movie. He is the Stephen. So I pretty much like these guys, but when you're listening to these people like this, and even on the left, he's right. Sometimes CNN they only produce news that's going to try to get them ratings. They don't talk about the news that's going to help the community. It's not about community. It's about ratings, and he's right. And that's what Trump is about. He's about ratings, and that's what CNN is about, MSNBC. They're about ratings. They're not about producing news that's going to elevate people. They just want to sensationalize things like this situation. And I'm not here to sensationalize. I'm going to tell you, both of them was wrong. The young lady trying to grab that microphone from dude is wrong. Had she did that to some sister in the hood, she would have really got smacked. Because you don't just bowl up on somebody taking something away from them. You don't do that. So if she would have did that in the wrong environment, it would have been on like Donkey Kong. But in a professional environment like that, she shouldn't have tried to snatch it at his hand. He shouldn't have continued to bulldoze himself with questions at the president when the president told him, no, that's it. And he continued with these questions to irritate the president. Now the president got to defend his little child self, just like Acosta got to defend his child self, to say, hey, fake news, it's a hoax, and it is an invasion, stuff like that. And I agree with him. The Russia thing is a hoax. But the things about the monument clauses and investigations on financial affairs and your business affairs, that ain't no hoax. That is a legendary truth for Trump. And when they look into that, they may end up seeing some things that may be trouble with Trump. And Trump knows that. And that's the reason why Sessions is gone. And he put on one of his key kisser-upper loyalists to take Sessions' place. I thought it was going to be Giuliani because I can't think of nobody who kissed more butt than that guy. More Trump butt. Boy, his lips should have the Trump logo on it. That's tattooed on Trump butt, but that's another story. So, me being fair and balanced. In the future, I'm going to call these particular sessions the breakdown, where I'm going to break down certain things, and we're going to talk about it and deal rationally about this. Now, you take some time, comment in the comment section. I know we weren't alone, but that's what the breakdown is going to be about. The breakdown is going to be at least 30 minutes. But go ahead and comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think. I told you what I think. Both of them act like childs. Both of them babies trying to posture each other. Both of them, they act like two kids fighting over a toy. The young lady who trying to take the microphone from this guy was wrong. Costa was wrong. Trump was wrong. All of them was wrong. Were some of them right? He has the right to ask them the questions. Trump has the right to ignore the questions. Trump did allow him opportunity to ask a couple of questions. That's it. There's other people you need to get to. Acosta wanted to bulldog his way with more questions, more insulting questions at that. Trump wasn't having it. I'm done talking with your son. Hand over the mic. Hey, don't snatch. I'm going to hand over the mic, but don't be snatching away. It's just a whole bunch of mess. At the same time, elections going on. Election fraud is widespread. And I'm going to talk about Debbie Wasserman, so her Wicked Witch of Wall Street behind, and how she's trying to steal this election from Tim Nova, and how she probably partnered with the Dade County election organization to try to keep current Republicans and Democratic in office. I keep telling you, they on the same team, and they don't give a crap about you. Anyway, I'm done with this. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Reporter, the breakdown session. I'll let you soon.